Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. Well, this week it's a very, very special one. I think people do just look at, okay, these products are costing me £5, as long as I charge more than £5, I'm all right. Particularly when they're starting out, people do want to get a bit of a name for themselves. And there's something to be said, I guess, for charging a low price to get out there. It's a marketing cost, if you like, if you're discounting initially to get yourself out there and get known.
Everything I always say, I never ever worry about somebody making a business choice to do something. The bit that worries me is that people hide their insecurities and fears about pricing and say it's a business choice to do it. And I think that's a very different thing. If you're confident at selling at a certain price and decide to do an offer for somebody, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
As long as you're aware what impact that has on your business. And I don't think always that's the case. If I've done anything at all in the industry, the one thing I've done is given some businesses the confidence to charge what they wanted to charge.
Yeah.
And the benefits of doing that are fantastic.
I think it is a confidence thing, because if people think that this costs me £5, well, I want to make a profit, but I don't want to be ripping people off. I can't charge them £15, can I? Well, yes, you can. But it's just having that confidence to believe in yourself, really, particularly when you're starting out. I think that's really important.
I think profit is the funny one, is that some people are embarrassed to make a profit.
Yeah.
And in essence, being a business is about making profit. And profit doesn't necessarily mean that you're then considered a fat cat that's stealing from the poor and giving to yourself.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that. You need profit in a business to be able to grow your business, to be able to employ other people, to be able to pay your suppliers, to be able to grow. And anybody that's successful in business needs to really get over the issue of making profit. But it's not an easy thing to do. Anybody that says pricing is easy to do is not telling you the full truth, because it is the most difficult, next to employing people and dealing with other people, it is, I think, the most difficult thing in business.
Yeah. But when you get it right,
the benefits are...
It's fantastic, isn't it?
And we are in a great industry to do that. Most customers really appreciate what you do for them. And everybody that I've gone through the process of helping them have confidence to price at a higher level have generally said the most surprising thing is there wasn't the negative reaction from their customers that they thought they were going to receive. Yeah. And I think that'll become apparent. Anybody that wants to do increase prices, have a go, and you'll be surprised. Most of the time, I think you'll be surprised that you don't always get the negative kickback that you're going to have.
Would you say there's a rule or something that you should aim for when it comes to pricing, to costing what you're selling?
I heard one soundbite which, the more I think about it, is true. Doesn't necessarily help you to calculate costs, but the soundbite is that you should price something at the highest possible price that you can sell that item to a multiple number of customers for, and they feel it's good value. And that's the only soundbite I've ever come across that sort of sits well with everything else that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I've heard various theories about pricing, and one of them is you put your prices up, people keep buying. You put your prices up again, people keep buying. Put your prices up, everybody stops buying. Okay, you go back down to there, and then you're at your optimum price. And that can vary. Obviously, it's not as simple as that. You might not want to lose customers, and you've got to work at it. But it gives you an example. It's whatever the market will bear. So that's, I mean, a lot of our viewers and our customers, they're smaller businesses. They are one-man bands, they're husband and wife, they're small teams. Thinking of those sort of businesses, what advice would you give to those sort of small businesses, say that have just started? What would be your key advice?
Once you've got the idea, so some of these people are, they've probably got into the balloon industry, because it's something they've probably by accident. Yeah, I would guess. Probably they don't wake up one day, I'm going to be a balloon entrepreneur and rule the world with. They've got into it because they've done something, they've enjoyed it, they've been good at it, they've made a bit of money at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's important to we want to keep that passion for what you do. Once you've got through that phase and you've said, right, I can do this, then really the next stage is start with the end in mind. Okay, it's very easy just to get onto the hamster wheel and start running around the hamster wheel and becoming busy.
Yeah.
Okay, busy, doing, and then you wake up 5 years later and you think, actually, I'm still standing where I was 4 or 5 years ago. So the first thing is do something you're passionate about, do something that you're good at, and do something you can make money at. Okay, those are the three fundamentals.
Okay.
What you're passionate about, what you can make money at, and what you're good at.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do that, then you'll be happy doing what you do. Next phase then is, okay, so think forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years, as far forward as you possibly can, and say, right, what does this business look like in the future? What am I trying to build? Okay, so if I was a house builder and you came to me and said, I want to build a house, I wouldn't suddenly start laying bricks.
Yeah.
Okay, if you said I want a 5-course meal, I wouldn't run into the kitchen and just stick some food on the hob.
Yeah.
I'd go, okay, so what sort of house do you want to build? What's the house got to do? What sort of meal do you want? What's the occasion? I'd need to know what you're trying to achieve. Then I'd go, right, okay, well, I know a recipe for that. I'll follow the recipe. If you want to build a house, I'll create the plan for that. And then all we then do is action the plan.
Yeah.
So the key to this, if I can draw on your board here, is the first thing you've got to have is a dream. Okay, because a business can be whatever you want it to be. We were having a chat earlier, and you were saying about the guy who started Nike in the 1960s. He had a dream. Ray Kroc, when he started McDonald's, had a dream. Steve Jobs, when he started Apple, had a dream. Now, the difference between those guys and probably most of your viewers is their dreams were here, and most of us' dreams are down here.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've got to have this dream of the future of what we want it to be. And the other part of the dream here is not only the business, but what does the business need to give you? Okay, because a business is really just a vehicle to give you what you want in life. So part of that dream should be, what do you want personally? What house do you want to live in? What cars do you want to drive? What holidays do you want to go on? What do you want to leave as a legacy for your children? The more clarity you have around this, then the easier it is to do the next stage, which is set some goals. Okay, so this is sort of 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably 1 year.
Yeah.
So this year, what is my goal for my business to move towards my dream?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting now. We've talked about SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time framed. The biggest thing with these is time frame. A goal without a goal without a time frame is just still a dream.
Yeah.
So you start to bring some clarity. And do you know the reason why most people don't set goals?
Why? They're worried they're not going to achieve them?
Exactly. I'm not going to achieve it.
Yeah.
So don't set a goal and then I can't fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the big things in business, in anyone you talk to that's been successful in business, is they fail. Yeah. They fail more times and quicker than anybody else.
That's the way to do it.
So fail fast.
Yeah.
Fail fast. And there's a lovely book by Malcolm Gladwell called Fail Forward.
Yeah.
Make a mistake, learn from the mistake. We've got to learn.
There are a number of bans in place around the world, and unfortunately those bans have been total ban on balloons. It's not just a ban on balloon releases. Any helium balloon, any air-filled balloon, any twister balloon. So even entertainers going onto a council's property, they will not be allowed to entertain with balloons. They are complete bans. And that's what we've seen happening, and I believe the only way that we can stop that growing and stop it from becoming a total ban on balloons worldwide is to say, yep, balloon releases should be banned. Balloon releases categorically create litter. There is no two ways about that. But the rest of our industry is very caring of the environment and understanding of the environment and wants to protect the environment. So don't ban balloons per se. Let's ban the stuff that is causing the problem and be caring about what we do with the rest of our industry. So helium balloons are still fantastic. Everybody loves a balloon. But again, we need to weight it down, make sure it's not going to escape and fly away. You know, if we have any big sculptures or anything of that nature, when they're finished with, they get disposed of properly and carefully. And where possible, everything is recycled. That's what it's about. That's why we took the decision, because without taking that decision and without the industry looking upon it in the same way, I genuinely believe that we will not be able to protect the industry as a whole, and we will all suffer. So we have to take action now, stand up and be counted and say, this is what we're going to do, and for the future there will be a balloon industry.
What are your thoughts, Sue?
I'm totally, in line with John on this. I've been watching for quite a long time now the growing problems that are occurring due to balloon releases. I mean, I'm in a very fortunate position where I travel and teach around the world, and it was some years ago I was teaching in Holland, in Amsterdam, and just listening to the problems that they were experiencing with their governments then. This is probably 2-3 years ago, and the bans that were being imposed. And the ironic thing was a lot of the balloon waste that they were getting on their beaches was all coming over from the UK, and which was easily identifiable because of all the logos that were printed on the balloons. So I've been watching this growing for some time and hearing all the problems that are occurring and getting quite sort of internally panicky about it and thinking, where is this leading? And then when PIBA set up in Australia and I was seeing what they were doing, I just thought, wow, I'm so excited that somebody is actually standing up and making a big effort to do something really, really positive. And what's really exciting about what they're doing in Australia is that they're getting results, because where they're having people anti-balloons, they're actually talking to them, they're showing them the support that we're trying to give back from the balloon industry, and they're listening. It doesn't just stop at balloon releases. We do have to be more responsible. We do have to think about giving care cards to our customers about how they treat their balloons once they're finished with. The pin it and bin it slogan that they've come up with in PIBA as well. It's fantastic. It's taking all these steps and showing the world, and it is the world, that we care. It's not, I remember years ago, the Californian law, it only happens in California. It seriously, it isn't just California, it is a worldwide issue. And I get very upset when I look at Facebook or social media sites, and you see somebody proudly posted some photographs of like sort of topiary balls being let off, and I just thought, you have no idea. It really is a problem. So we have to get together to do this. We do.
I think that's a really good point. What you just made there is that people. It's not that they've got the public. It's not that they've got an opinion one way or the other. It just doesn't even enter their minds. It's not a thing that they're giving any consideration to. And the little Alfie Evans thing that happened recently. People that were buying balloons and releasing balloons to commemorate him, they weren't thinking about the impact on the environment or anything like that. It was just a really nice sentiment that they were doing that. But we need to educate. And I know a lot of people use balloon releases for that sort of thing now. And even if it's only a single balloon, you're still releasing a balloon. You're still littering, however you look at it. Yeah. And as you say, John, you're absolutely right that there's no way to not look at it as littering, really, and that's one of the issues I think we've got as an industry, trying to show people that actually it is littering.
Well, in general, basically any customer who comes, if it's a private company or a wedding or anybody who wants balloons, who thinks about balloons, they want to communicate a message. And instead of just giving somebody, okay, I want an arch. Somebody calls you up and says, I want an arch. Okay, here's an arch. Now, go into the principle of what does this person want to communicate? And that's the core question that a lot of people don't think about, or a lot of decorators, designers don't ask, because they think, the client knows exactly what they want. They want to have 5 bouquets or an arch in front of the door. And I sometimes I ask them, is like, so why do you want an arch? Do you have a shop that sells arches?
Okay, all right.
And then you change the concept, because nobody loves balloons.
Yeah.
That's one of my core rules. Nobody loves balloons.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because everybody thinks everybody loves balloons. Oh, everybody loves balloons. So, no, nobody loves balloons. Did you have a client ever calling you up to say, can I have an arch in my bedroom? Because I just love balloons. I just want to look at it when I wake up.
Yeah.
Or a column. I just want a beautiful column in my bedroom. It makes me so happy. I love balloons. Like, okay, there's maybe a scene that gets close, but in general, people don't ask for decor because they are interested in the balloon. It's they want to use the balloon to communicate something.
Yeah.
What does a balloon communicate? So in the core, the balloon is a symbol of celebration, a symbol of happiness. Huh? Why?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I've no idea now. I don't know. Why do balloons celebrate happiness?
Why don't we use for a wedding wooden sculptures to decorate the place? There are people who can make beautiful wooden sculptures. It doesn't have the same appeal as balloons or flowers. So balloons and flowers are the 2 materials that people use worldwide to use as a symbol of celebration, because a balloon or a flower has only the moment. It only exists now. So a balloon, before you inflate it, it's just a piece of rubber. It has not the magic of a balloon. The moment you inflate it, it exists. You can make something, but you also know on a subconscious level that this is only now, because the next moment, poof, it's gone. And that's why it makes this moment important. And the more work we do, the more elaborate designs we make, the more intense, the more important we make this moment.
Yeah.
And that's why we want big, splendid decor for our events, to show how important this moment is. Because we want to say at the wedding, this is the most important day of my life. And this is how I show it.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it, because it's almost like it is. It's so special. I'm going to use something that I know will not exist again tomorrow. That's how special this is.
Exactly.
That I'm willing to pay money for this really special thing that will be gone.
Yes.
As will the celebration. The day is gone.
Exactly.
So it goes with the day. That's a really interesting way to
balloon
look.
creates a magnifying glass on the moment, on the present time. But the moment you realize this, you can actually tap into that on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Because now it's exactly what you say. I can tell a client, I'm going to make you something unique that nobody else ever got before. I'm going to make something specifically for you. And it goes the same with corporations. If a company calls, then it's like, okay, what is the message that you want to communicate? Sometimes it's only a style, or we are the fun company. Okay, then it's a very broad. But sometimes we have an opening and we want to show our new truck.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we do? Maybe we can have a big explosion, exploding wall to show the truck, or we're going to make it out of balloons. We made a life-size truck one time, 17 meters long, so 35,000 balloons, and then we just create a full life-size truck out of balloons, because with balloons everything is possible.
So I'm a founding member, one of 4 of PEBA, Pro Environmental Balloon Alliance, which I'm so proud that yourself and John Bowler and a great team of helping with to create a PEBA UK.
Yeah.
And there's so much to be discussed there, and I'm really excited to work with you guys on that.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show, great. And we have PEBA USA, by a great team there. And why did it start? Because I was at Float Convention and I was given the opportunity to give an address, and I really didn't know what to say. You know, how do you summarize this feeling, this emotion, and our response and blah blah in a few minutes? And all I could think of was why do we start it? And because I felt alone, right, with this problem. So people would come to me and they would say, balloons are plastic, and we're banning balloons here, and they're killing turtles, so we're not going to kill turtles, and so on. And I just didn't know how to respond, you know. So through chatting to a couple of colleagues around Australia, we decided our industry association at the time wasn't doing much about it, and let's take matters to our own hands, and let's create a group. And just by creating the group in itself is doing something.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're a journalist and you want to talk to someone about it, who do you talk to? All right. So now we've by creating an industry association of members and a website with literature, and we then created a stance and a position which let's stop all balloon releases in Australia. We want to be the first country that is balloon release free. And all we have right now is self-regulation of members, and we want to push that with legislative change. It's a huge problem, actually. It's very, very difficult. And in fact, we've spent so many man-hours trying to make that happen. We've had PIBA members in Canberra with federal ministers, and we've hundreds and hundreds of letters to local, state, just like anywhere. Governments are multifold and complicated, and everyone's like, not in my backyard, it's too difficult. And you got to talk to so-and-so, and then so-and-so doesn't answer the phone. So we've sort of stepped back. That's still where we want to go, but at least self-regulation is enough.
So that's about specifically the balloon release side.
Balloon release side, yeah, okay. And I'll get into a few other things. But with the 800 or so members, many of whom used to do balloon releases, and now through having a conversation amongst ourselves and just an understanding of where we are in modern society, but you could use to smoke on a plane. Yeah. You know, I've said before, I have done balloon releases, very few. I even did one for my own wedding. Yeah. Right? I use biodegradable twine. Yeah. You know, but we release them and I feel terrible now. Yeah. You know, you know, we all need to grow and learn and change and react. And I think the best thing we can do from a marketing perspective for our industry is be environmentally conscious. Yeah. You know, so that's like our business. We use green energy and blah blah blah. We reuse our plastic bags to make weights. We recycle, you know, do the best that we can, right? But also it's through PIBA, it's education, right? So just it's difficult to educate the public from a grassroots group like us. Unfortunately, no matter how many press releases we offer, journalists don't pick it up. Yeah. But if you're a 16-year-old who wrote a school report on a turtle dying, you got front page news. Yeah, and they won't even call you for a response. Yeah. And they will sit there and say, plastics is this problem in the world, drinking straws, single-use bags and balloons in the one breath. And this is one of the biggest issues as an industry. How do we react to that? Okay. And whenever I get the chance to chat to anybody who doesn't understand the dynamics of it all, and I can talk about you know, a latex balloon being tapped from a rubber tree and being, you know, from such a natural product, you know, and liquid latex and the jobs in third world countries and the whole story of how it reduces to nothing and then breaks down slowly over time, depending on conditions, right? And this is something, I'm a realist. I will even say to them, look, 2 meters underground, it's not going to break down very quickly. But you'll also have a newspaper next to it, and you'll dig both up 40 years later and read page 5, right? Yeah. So you can't say, well, balloons don't break down. So doesn't the newspaper. Yeah. Balloons have chemicals. So does the newspaper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to be realistic. If we can, as an industry, find a way to repurpose, recycle our product, then that's the holy grail.
Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.